About Saturday's Mail, Nick?
Well, it's very similar, Josh. They've gone with Equality Chief witch hunt probe put on ice. This is actually good news. This is the investigation into Baroness Faulkner, which was absurd, and basically a load of radical trans activists had targeted her. But now the watchdog has suspended it, realising that it's basically a ridiculous witch hunt. And this is good because we're finally realising that these people are bad actors. This is wokeness penetrating institutions. They get in there, it's pernicious. But until very recently, people have just accepted all this stuff. But now they've realised and the complaints have been dismissed as ideological, vexatious, and a political chess game. So it's actually good news.
Sorry, Leah, could you just tell us quickly why trans activists have gone after her? Like, what is it that she is pushing forward that they're so upset about?
So she's alleged to have made some comments about
But I meant more like they're angry because isn't she trying to sort of clarify what sex actually means? Because there's been this confusion in the Equality Act where sex was meant, people use it in a certain way to include trans women, and now she's trying to set out to make it that sex means biological sex.
Why are you asking me if you already know?
Because I was
covered it
hoping
loads
to
of times.
explain it to our viewers.
No, you're right. I was just giving the update because we covered it before. But yeah, that is the story. But then the update is that they've suspended the investigation.
But I mean, what worries me about this is this is a real. We talk about the woke blob or whatever, and this is cast iron evidence of it. There's trans activists inside the civil service bringing down politicians inside or civil servants, their bosses, whatever, the chief of the. Well, they almost
in
did.
No, sure. But this is, like Nick says, isn't this a very positive sort of development?
Not really, because you've got to think, like, what else, who else has been brought down by just, creating an atmosphere? We hear about it in, other parts of the civil service, other parts of the public sector, even corporations where, people feel afraid to speak out or question the ideology around trans issues. In this case, it could be anything else, any of the diversity, equity and inclusion stuff. And also, when it looks like the Tories are going to lose the next election, then the politicians won't even be pushing back against this woke blob. They'll be part of it.
Well, except for the fact that we did, the reason why this was arguably cancelled is because you had a bunch of peers, 50 people, stood up and went, wait a minute, because Channel 4 News, our competitors, put out a disgusting report this week, basically just mimicking, no investigation at all, just basically saying what these alleged, and they're very, basically she supposedly, someone eye-rolled at somebody.
It was all very
just
vague,
absolutely ridiculous stuff.
Microaggressions.
Didn't question any of it. And it's interesting to see the one-sidedness there, but you're not going to get people like Matthew Sweet tweeting about that. Yeah, lies that are put out there.
He really bothers you, doesn't he?
It does bother me, because you know what it is? It's like, if you're going to go after people, or you're going to go... Do everybody. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't just focus on... just because your side does something that's wrong, then where are you going to... if you're this big purveyor of truth...
Yeah. No, but you make a good point. Cross-party peers, including Lord Frost, Baron Roberts and Baroness Jenkin, did back this, saying she'd been irresponsibly attacked, and that was an important part.
Aren't Labour talking about getting rid of the House of Lords? So then even that, that pushback won't be there.